Thought I'd read to you from one of my favourite books of the 14th century, The Tree of Battles, by Henry Bonnet, or Honor Bonnet, as it may be pronounced or mispronounced in French. This is a translation by G.W. Coupland, who was a professor in the University of Liverpool with a Master of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and a couple of other things, no doubt, to his name after the printing of this particular translation in 1949. I thought I'd start off and talk about just something in his preface. He's quoted Bonnet, and I'll read that out now. This is what he quotes. You'll find that it's not that much different to society today. But Bonnet wrote, "I see all holy Christendom so burdened by wars and hatreds, robberies and dissensions, that it's hard to name one little region, be it duchy or county, that enjoys good peace. God well knows that the soldiers of today take from their prisoners great and excessive payments and ransoms without pity or mercy, and this especially from the poor labourers who cultivate lands and vineyards, and under God give sustenance to all by their toil. And my heart is full of grief to see and hear of the great martyrdom that they inflict without pity or mercy on the poor labourers and others who are incapable of ill in word or thought, who toil for men of all estates, from whom Pope, kings, and all the lords in the world receive under God what they eat and drink and what they wear." Then Coupland goes on to write in his preface, "It would be misleading not to record that there are serious gaps in Bonnet's work. He has no economic or institutional changes to suggest for the evils of his day, and he scarcely goes beyond the simple formula that all would be well if men would behave better. In short," he writes, "there's no word of progress in the tree, and the idea in any modern meaning is absent from his work." I'd like to go into some detail why I do think that's absent in his work. I don't think it's meant as a criticism. It's just an observation in what the good professor writes. But I think the reason that Bonnet doesn't have any economic or institutional propositions to suggest to cure the evils and the bad things that's going on in his world is because that's already been addressed. I think his audience were very well versed in what the solution was. So I don't think he was so much discussing the solution, because I think it's a matter of the solution was already known to all, and that being a good biblical principle in society. So a biblically based principle on economy, such as all shall prosper, or a biblically based proposition on institutional changes. And those institutional changes things, and we do know that Bonnet later on goes on to withdraw his support for either pope. He seems to throw in his lot with the early reformers. In England they're called Lollards. I'm not sure in France, Bonnet being French, I'm not sure what they may have been called in France, or even if Lollardy had spread to there by this time. This is late 14th century. And Bonnet himself was, for a time, a clergyman. He was a priest, and he himself has withdrawn support from the popes and said we shouldn't be doing this. And he refused to support them, and he encouraged Frenchmen of the day